Well, on to this now. Jury selection begins tomorrow for the trial of Ryan Ruth. Now, he, of course, is the man accused of attempting to assassinate President Trump while he was playing golf at his Palm Beach country club this time last year. Preparations now underway in Florida, where opening statements are expected to begin on Thursday. Ruth is expected to plead not guilty and will be representing himself. I want to bring in criminal defense attorney Brian Claypool to talk more. Brian, great to have you here. There's a lot of interest around the story, obviously. It involves the life of the president. How do you think this is going to be impacting jury selection? Everybody will be familiar with this case.
Yeah, great to be with you, Anna. That's an important point. And jury selection is going to take several days. In fact, they're bringing in 3 packs of 60 potential jurors. That's 180 people that are going to be questioned. And I think what Judge Eileen Cannon should do in this case is allow what's called individual voir dire. What does that mean? That means that if you're questioning a panel, a group, and you as a lawyer think there's some bias, that a potential juror is seeing too much publicity about the Ruth case, then you could send the jury out and then have a one-on-one discussion with that juror to find out whether he or she is biased in this case. So it's going to take a while. In fact, I would be surprised if you have a jury by Thursday.
Yeah, reportedly, Ryan Ruth has challenged the president to play a round of golf. What do you think he's doing here? Is he trying to prove that maybe he has a few marbles loose or something? I mean, what's going on with this?
Yeah, great question. I think Ryan Ruth, he blew it by trying to represent himself. Let's look at the facts. His only defense, Anna, in this case, is that he has a mental health issue, which you're suggesting. I mean, some of these things he's done like that. In fact, a few months after the attempted assassination, he dropped off a box at somebody's house with a letter saying, "Hey, I tried to kill the president. I failed you." I mean, that basically is going to be brought in for an admission that he intended on killing President Trump. You've got the semi-automatic weapon that was found there that matches his fingerprints. I mean, his only defense really was what's called diminished capacity. What's that? Where he could have argued that, look, I have a mental health issue. It's not a total defense. It would just reduce the charge from attempted assassination to voluntary manslaughter, so he doesn't spend the rest of his life in jail. But he blew that because he's representing himself. He's going to walk around that courtroom, so everybody's going to say, if he can do that, he doesn't have a mental health issue.
All right. Well, our producers have uncovered that prosecutors have a 33-page list of exhibits that they're looking to introduce, including cell phone records showing messages that Ruth, he sent these, and he would, quote, help ensure Trump does not get elected. I want to play you something Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said when the attempt first unfolded. Listen to this.
Let's just get the facts. Let's put it out for the public. Let's figure out this guy, you look at his rap sheet, you look at the things he's been involved in. This guy had red flags. I know he's been looked at by federal law enforcement. How the heck did it end up where he's in West Palm Beach in those bushes? And that's apart from the prosecution. People deserve the truth about that. They need to know his associations. They need to know his motivations, his ideology.
Yeah, there were so many red flags. How did he slip through? I mean, that's a question for another day, I guess. But what do you think we're going to be learning about Ruth's motives?
Well, his motive was he didn't want President Trump to be elected as president. And to Ron DeSantis' point, he makes an excellent point. What's also on trial in this case, Anna, is our judicial system, right? In 2010, I think it was, in North Carolina, this guy, Ruth, was pulled over, evading police, had a semi-automatic weapon in his car, and he had materials to make a bomb in his car. What did he get? He got probation. I don't even think he served jail time for that. So that's for another day. But look, we've got to start putting away people that are potential violent criminals. One of the charges against him is a felon with the ammunition because he's a prior felon. But how did he get away with doing no jail time? This guy was tracking President Trump months leading up to the election. That's what they're going to use as evidence. They could show where he was trying to track where Trump was at Mar-a-Lago or on the golf course. And that's stalking to me. That's pretty scary, right? But look, at the end of the day, we all want a fair trial. What I'm worried about, Anna, is Judge Cannon did not allow Ruth to have a different set of public defenders. Remember, Ruth said, I can't get along with these lawyers. Give me new lawyers. She said, no, you represent yourself. We'll bring them back if you need them. But look, I'm worried about the Sixth Amendment. You have a right to what's called legal counsel and effective legal counsel, not just lawyers. And I'm kind of worried. I wish he would have just said, okay, here are 2 more public defenders so that we don't do this trial, get a guilty verdict, and then come back years later and have to do it again on appeal.
Well, with jury selection starting, I mean, it's just a reminder for all of us, like, we just can't get complacent. The president has had 2 attempts on his life. Appreciate you being here. Criminal defense attorney Brian Claypool, thank you.